So what we have seen in the first trading session of 2023 as far as Wall Street is concerned is a very tepid response, and the overall close is completely flat. You can see a huge amount of volatility in the intraday session, but at the end of the day you can see a completely flat close as far as S&P, Dow Jones and Nasdaq is concerned. Although you can say that Nasdaq is more than 0.5% down, but because this is quite a high volatile index. Now if you are looking at the reasons, obviously the volumes are very less, and it will take one more week. The least you can expect a one more week for the volumes to come back again into the market. So with this, let us see what has happened in the last trading session and what will probably happen in today's trading session, and that's what we are going to discuss in this particular video. So let's start analyzing all the indices majorly. Today I'm going to analyze S&P first. So if you are looking at S&P 500, you can clearly see this indices or this index has been trading in a range for the last couple of days, okay, or I would say for the last more than a week. So from 20th, so it's been 2 weeks. You can clearly see S&P 500 is actually trading in between a range. Okay, so this is the range that we are going to look at, and this is a very range bound session that's been happening within S&P 500. Now whether it will turn into a bullish one or bearish one, that is yet to be seen, because these kind of big consolidation even in the short term make market undecisive. So better don't trade beyond the range, okay, either on the upside or on the downside, because volumes are less and any move on the either side does not work for you, because you can make money intraday if you are a pro. Otherwise if you want to go for a swing trade, obviously it may or may not work, and chances are it will not work, because at the end of the day you will see a short covering and the market or the indices start moving higher, and that's what we have already seen yesterday. So right now on the downside you have 3800 and 3765, and on the upside we have 3847, 3856, and the upper end of the range will be 3891. So this is the basic range in between which S&P 500 has been trading for the last 20 days, and this is what we are going to follow. Now what will happen after that is yet to be seen, because if there is a breakout, then obviously we will wait for S&P 500 to surpass 3892, and if there is a breakdown, then let it fall below 3760 or more. So as simple as that. Right now don't think beyond this small range. Now talking about the Dow Jones, and Dow Jones is also giving the similar kind of pattern, but this is positive, I would say. Okay, this looks much more positive, even though it is also flat, but if you look at the chart closely, you can see a very small tilt as far as the trend is concerned. Let me show it to you why I am saying that this is much more positive. So this is the basic range, okay, but as we have seen in the S&P 500, the overall chart is flat, but here in this case you can see the price movement like this. Okay, this is much more narrower than S&P 500, which means if you have your immediate support of 32,897, and you have your big support or stop loss at 32,581. So the condition over here is, if Dow Jones continues to sustain above 32,897, which it is right now, and once it started trading above 33,332, it will be considered as a short term range breakout, okay, and above that you have all the big targets, but this is a small range in between which Dow Jones has been trading. So even for Dow Jones, and more specifically when I'm saying it looks positive, although it looks positive, but let the Dow Jones makes its move beyond 33,320, and then you can go for an intraday swing on the upside. Right now it's also range bound, but the positivity is much more higher right now, okay, and on the downside you have 32,897 and 32,580 as far as the support and stop loss is concerned. Now Dow Jones, beg your pardon, Nasdaq, even though one day it is falling much, one day it is falling less, but the overall trend is on the downside. Okay, so if you are looking at daily closing levels, obviously the levels are on the downside, and this does not give you any comfort. Okay, because on every day, some day 200 point down, some day 70 point down, some day 30 point down, it does not mean that for a third day is lower than second day and second day is lower than first day. It does not mean, because cumulatively on the third day you are down, if you add all those numbers, you are down, and down quite a lot. So these kind of things are not at all positive, because it will make the trend weak. Okay, so Nasdaq, although it's also flat, but it is quite negative, and cumulatively that have an impact on S&P 500. So for Nasdaq we have 10,316 as far as immediate support, and 10,212 on the downside as far as stop loss. On the upside we have 10,510 and we have 10,620. So this is what we have here as far as Nasdaq composite is concerned. So if you're talking about S&P 500, which is completely flat and range bound, if you're talking about Dow Jones, which is also flat and range bound but slightly with positive bias, and when you're talking about Nasdaq, it is also in a range bound but slightly with a negative bias. So this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching.